All right. Good morning, everybody. So today we are to proceed with another lesson as part of our course, Emerging Technologies in Science Education, where we focus mostly on artificial intelligence in science education. And we shall be talking about how we can harness the power of artificial intelligence to increase our productivity in research. Remember our quote: artificial intelligence-based tools, they are meant to improve our productivity and not to replace our responsibility. I want to free some time. I'm too busy. Nigeria is too busy. Everybody is too busy. Yes. So I want to free some time and then call on artificial intelligence to assist me while I concentrate on doing something else. So this is the import of everything here. So today we shall look at how we can incorporate AI to assist us to improve our productivity in our research. So, and we shall take this step by step, as in from the formulation of the research topic, your project topic, up to down to conclusion of your project. So the spot areas where AI can come in, I'm going to hammer on them, and I'm going to demonstrate how we can use AI to actually assist us in those spot areas. So to get started, the tradition is that at the beginning of first semester 400 level, you are distributed or you assign your project supervisors. Then the tradition, I mean, the trend has been you will be told who your supervisor is. Then it is your responsibility as a group or individual to meet your supervisor. And naturally, when you meet your supervisors, the very first thing your supervisor will tell you after welcoming you to his office will be, now you can go and formulate. Some people will say 3 topics. Some people will say 5 topics. So you can go and formulate 5 topics, for instance, and then bring them for me to approve. Then you will go and formulate some topics, and then you bring it to your supervisor. At times, you may be very unfortunate that the 5 topics will be rejected. Then you have to go back again and formulate fresh 5. And that cycle can continue. So some students can use the whole of first semester without getting an approved topic for their project. So this has been a problem. So how can we now solve that problem? AI can help you solve the problem. Yes. And that is the very first place we are starting today, where we can use artificial intelligence to generate and refine research topics for your project. So there are 2 approaches which I'm going to explain here. So basically, the first one is an open-ended brainstorming, where you can brainstorm with AI tool to formulate research topics. While the other one is structured template-based approach, where you can have a kind of structure, a kind of template that you use in your department, and then ask AI to study that template and come up with something new. So these 2 approaches, we shall look at them side by side, and then we can evaluate the benefit or the advantages of each of them. So let's start with the open-ended. So in the open-ended brainstorming, what you want to do is you want to start with a broad idea. You don't have a specific topic, but you have an idea, the area that you want to work. Then you can ask AI to formulate specific topics based on that area. So AI can filter what is unnecessary, and this can enhance a kind of creativity in formulating research topic. So you can use ChatGPT, you can use Bard, you can use any other one, or Cloudy, as the case may be, to act as a brainstorming colleague or a brainstorming assistant or a brainstorming body. So let's look at a practical scenario. Look at this undergraduate student, poor student. What happened? He wants to, or is interested, or she is interested in STEM education, right? Just like you have, integrated science, STEM education, but unsure of a specific research topic or research focus. So that kind of student can use AI to generate research topic ideas using the following prompt. So we have a sample prompt here that the student can use. Look at this prompt. I'm researching science education at the secondary school level, right? Generate 10 innovative research topics related to AI integration in science classrooms, including emerging trends and challenges. So when you copy this prompt now and you put it in ChatGPT, for instance, let's see what's going to come out. So we are starting that. So I'm copying the prompt from here. Then I take it to the ChatGPT platform. Here we have it. Then I drop it here. Remember, this is a basic prompt. It's a basic prompt. You can modify it, you can adapt it, you can do anything you like with it to suit your purpose. All right? So I'm researching science education secondary school level. We generate 10 innovative research topics related to AI integration. This is the area that I'm focusing on, AI integration in science education. All right? So I can just send this in science classrooms. Then we have some topics being generated by this ChatGPT. So we said 10. So let's see. Remember, it is a responsibility now. This is a starting point for you. This is not the final goal. This is a starting point. This one will just keep you starting. Then you can now evaluate the topics and then bring out 3 or 5 that your supervisors has told you to bring. Let's take the first one. Here is the topic: examining the effectiveness of AI-driven quizzes, simulations, and feedback systems in enhancing student learning and engagement. The second one is investigating how adaptive AI algorithms can tailor content delivery based on students' learning styles, prior knowledge, and misconceptions. Exploring the role of AI, that is, I'm reading number 4, exploring the role of AI chatbots in supporting student problem solving, concept clarification, and homework assistance in science subjects. Then I'm picking the ninth one, the ninth bullet point: exploring science teachers' perceptions, challenges, and professional development needs for effective incorporating AI into their instructional practices. You know, the first 3 I read, they are meant on student, while this one is on teacher. All right? So these are some topics that can keep you starting. So you can now edit this, you can now, make it concise, make it sharp, make it focused, and then you give them to your supervisors. This is one way to look at formulating research topic using AI, all right? Where we engage in what we call open brainstorming. I only give the AI the specific area I want to work. I didn't make any specification on the type of research topic, and it gave me this, so I can start with this. Perfect. So this is one way to look at it. So this process will allow researchers to explore multiple potential avenues before narrowing this thing to their focus. I hope you get this. So this is the open-ended. While the second approach is what I call structured template-based approach, where you have your own structure, your own ways of doing things in your department. Okay, how will that work? Let's have it. In many academic settings, students are encouraged to formulate research topics based on previously approved and well-structured studies within their department or their field. So this approach ensures that new topics align with institutional research priorities, methodological rigor, and feasibility. So AI can significantly enhance this process by analyzing past research topics, identifying underlying patterns, and generating novel yet academically sound research topics for you. So you have your own standard that you follow. In your department, maybe they will focus more on quantitative research. What you do, you just go to the library and look at some past projects in your department. Look at the ones that you are interested in. Write down the topics of those past projects, maybe 5, 10, or whatever. So the topics that you have written down, you are now going to train AI with those topics, and at the same time ask AI to generate fresh one based on what he has learned. Remember, AI can learn, and you can also be a trainer of AI. And we're going to demonstrate that now. Let's see how it goes. So this is a practical scenario where we have a student, again, in science education department, is required to propose a thesis topic, a project topic. So the student can make a list of previously approved research topics from the last 5 years. Instead of starting from the scratch, the student can use AI to analyze these topics and generate new research ideas. So look at some of the topics that I have collated from our past projects. The first one here, impact of virtual labs on conceptual understanding in secondary school chemistry, Zaria, Metropolis, Kaduna State. Relationships between admission requirement and academic performance of first-year undergraduate chemistry students at Ahmadu Bello University. An exploration of artificial intelligence literacy among the pre-service biology teachers in Kaduna State, Nigeria. Investigating lecturers' perception of computer-based testing in higher institutions in Kaduna State. Investigating self-efficacy and approaches to learning as predictors of performance in mathematics among secondary school students in Kaduna State. These are the topics that I wrote from past projects. Now I'm going to prompt AI to learn these topics and at the same time formulate fresh one for me. Okay? So let's see how we can do that. So we can use AI. You can use any of them. You can use ChatGPT, you can use Bard, you can use Cloud, you can use Perplexity. And today we are going to use Perplexity. So this is a sample prompt. Analyze the following previously approved research topics in science education and generate 3 new topics that build upon existing trends while addressing potential gaps. So I'm going to copy this. Then you have to show the ChatGPT the topics too. So I'm going to copy 2 things now. The first thing is the major task that I'm giving I can open a new tab so that it will not interact with this one. So I have this. This is my instruction. All right. Then I want to give the topics now. Then these are the topics that are formulated. All right. So here we have the topics. Okay. So I have 5 topics here. Then I take it to this place. Then I drop it here. All right. So these are the topics. Forget about the formatting, doesn't matter. Analyze the following previously approved research topics in science education and generate 3 new topics that build upon existing trends while addressing the potential gaps. I can put a column here to differentiate my tags from the context. So this is the context. Okay, this is the context in the prompt, and what you have here is the tags. So this is a tags, and then this is the context. Take note of that. So when you're analyzing a prompt, you should be able to identify each part of the prompt. What I have here, analyze the following previously approved research topics in science education and generate 3 new topics that build upon existing trends while addressing potential gaps. This is what is the task that I want the AI to perform for me. And what you have here, the topics that are provided, they are the context I'm providing the AI. You can have some other things like the personnel. You want it to assume the role of a professor or something like that, or the role of an undergraduate student or something like that. You want a tone, you can make a tone in there. You want some kind of restriction on the number of words in the topics. So these are some restrictions. So we have different parts of the prompts which you can analyze while writing your prompt. So we have this now. Very simple prompt. We only have the tags and then we have the context. So we can share this and let's see what's going to come out. So we're asking it to do 2 things. The first thing is to analyze. Okay. Then the second thing is to bring out the topic. So let's see this. Here are 3 new research topics that build upon existing trends in science education while addressing the potential gap. Enhancing inquiry-based learning through augmented reality in science secondary school physics. So effect on conceptual understanding and engagement. What's happening here? These topics, this extend topic 1 by exploring emerging technology beyond virtual lab. Excellent. The second one, AI-driven adaptive assessment and their impact on first-year undergraduate chemistry student performance and learning. This builds on topic 2 and 4 by investigating how AI-powered assessment can provide personalized feedback. The third one, bridging the AI literacy gap, examining secondary school teachers' readiness for integrating artificial intelligence into STEM instruction. This topic extends topic 3. This one extends topic 3 by shifting focus to in-service teachers. Remember, topic 3 is about what? Pre-service. We wrote here, pre-service biology teacher. Then it's bringing what? In-service. You see it here. This extends topic 3 by shifting focus to in-service teachers, assessing their AI literacy, and preparedness to integrate AI into science teaching at secondary school. So we have some kind of starting point that align with what we have before. Then you can modify each of these and then you have your topic. I hope you get this. So these 2 approaches, they are fundamental when you are using AI as an assistant to formulate your research topics. So some of you now right at the present, I want to believe some of you are still struggling with your research topics. Your supervisors have sent you back. So this is an avenue for you to enhance the power of AI to get the topics as quick as possible and give it to your supervisors for approval. All right, we can proceed. So we have this. Then I've just written this prompt and I've just included it in the one I had before. So this part is not needed again. What about the advantages of the structured template base over that of the, you two can also think of the advantage now. Because now we are giving past projects from our department. So we are like using the standard from our department to generate new. You know, at times when you bring topics that are so strange, your supervisors has never researched that area. So that can delay you. That can cause a kind of delay in the approval. Because you're just like, what are you bringing here? This is strange from what you do in the department. And at times that kind of thing happens. Maybe you are so fascinating with chemistry and then you go and talk about physical something in chemistry. We are in education. We want to see education research. Nothing concerns us with your titration in the lab or whatever that you do there. So we want to see teaching and learning of chemistry in your topic. Or you are in physics and then you go over there and be talking about something on momentum, something on solar, whatever, something like that. So that one is for them. Leave that one for those in physical sciences. But what we are concerned about is how to teach and learn this particular physics, not the core content. We need the pedagogical aspect. So when you use this structure-based approach, you are going to align your work with the standard in your department. And this will also ensure academic rigor because it will maintain the methodological stance of your department. Some departments, their strength is in quantitative research methodology. Good and fine. While some departments or some people prefer qualitative research methodology, that is okay. Or some people like to mix the two, and they call that mixed method approach to research, where you can mix both quantitative and qualitative. If you look at the past project, you will see the trend, and then you'll be able to formulate a better one for what you need. So then you need to, at the same time, the advantage of this is that it accelerates topic selection. Look at, just in 2 minutes now, I got the topics I need. Just in 2 minutes, I got the topics I need. I will just write them out on a paper or type them and then give it to my supervisor for approval. So it accelerates your search for that topic. Then it encourages original contribution. You know where you are contributing. Because as you can see in what we got earlier on, it was explaining each part of the previous topic that it has extended. Just imagine I've just loaded this thing with 20 topics and then asked it to generate 5 or even 10. So I will have enough topics to deal with, and I'll be happy to have my way. So a point of note here is that after you have got these topics from AI, now you have a responsibility to review these topics by yourself. So we don't leave everything to AI to do. As you can see, even in the topics that were provided here, like in the case of maybe this one, the first topic, the AI is talking about augmented reality. This is a fantastic technology. But however, this particular technology, as far as I know, cannot be effectively implemented in Nigeria classrooms. Nowhere you can implement this for now. Even in some private universities or some private secondary schools, they can't do that. And we will allow you, because you're in a public university, we allow you to research on what public secondary school or primary school or in higher institution. So this particular augmented reality is out of the way. It's fantastic, it's nice. But when you bring it to the context where you are going to conduct your research, you see this is not going to be feasible. So you are going to refine the topics by yourself. You are going to do what? You are going to refine the topics by yourself. Excellent. So once AI suggests potential topics, the student can refine them further by ensuring they meet academic standards. This involves ensuring the topic has not been overly researched, determining whether qualitative, quantitative, or mixed method approaches are best suited, and ensuring alignment with educational trends, institutional focus, and societal needs. So these are the issues that you must be able to address yourself. Sit down and then think very well to be able to fine-tune these topics to give your supervisors. Take note of that. Perfect. So we have just covered the first important aspect of our research. And now we all have a topic. This is my assumption. Everybody has a topic for his final year project research now. So what is another important thing in your chapter 1 of your project is the statement of the problem. You need to clearly state the problem your research is addressing, the problem you are attempting to solve. I at times have some kind of reservation when you say solve, because we don't actually solve problems in our research. Do we address the problems, but we don't solve them because the problem still remains after our research. So, statement of the problem is another fundamental aspect you must write very well when you are dealing with the chapter 1 of your project. So I put some kind of interesting things about statement of the problem. It's a good read. Try and read this on your own. But in statement of the problem, you must identify the gaps. You must identify a gap in research that your particular proposed project is going to address. So AI tools like Elicit, like Research Rabbits, like Cite AI can analyze academic literature to highlight unexplored topics, contradiction, and under-research areas. So let's see a simple scenario here. Look at a researcher that wants to study the impact of virtual labs on conceptual understanding in secondary school chemistry in Zaria Metropolis, Kaduna State, but needs to determine whether this particular topic is novel. Novelty. We talk about originality. AI can help you analyze what people have done and then tell you whether it is novel or not. Look at the sample prompt. Analyze recent studies on the impact of virtual labs on conceptual understanding in secondary school. All right? Identify gaps, contradiction, or areas that require further research. So you can copy this prompt, and then you load it in ChatGPT, and then look at it, and then review what you have. Then you are happy. Another important thing, apart from identifying the research gap that your statement of the problem must address, is the issue of what? Real-world application or challenges that your research is set to solve. I wrote it here. A strong problem statement must connect research gaps. You have identified the gaps, first step. Must connect the gaps to practical educational challenges. AI-powered trend analysis tools like Google Trend, Web Search RedRank, and Semantic Scholar can identify current issues in science education, all right, that we want to solve. A typical scenario, still we are using the virtual lab of a thing, but needs to justify why this research is relevant. Okay, we can ask AI to do this for us. And maybe I should just run this prompt. Let's see this prompt. Analyze current challenges in science education related to conceptual understanding in secondary school chemistry. Identify key problems that virtual lab solutions could address. You see the point now? Because the solution you are bringing must address what? It seems like a problem, a challenge. So let us run this prompt and see how it will go. I open a new chat. Then I have this. Again, let's understand the prompt. Analyze current challenges in science education related to conceptual understanding in secondary school biology. I would like to put location in Nigeria. This part of the context. Because I just want something anywhere in the world. I want it to be specific. In fact, you can even put in Kaduna State. Identify key problems that virtual lab solutions could address. All right? Then you click on that. Then just sit back and look at some weaknesses or some challenges and how virtual lab can come to address those challenges. This is what you put together to write your statement of the problem. We are going to write it today. We are going to write it. Just hold on. Amazing. It is still going on. Then we have this. Let us review what we have. It started with conceptual understanding secondary school chemistry is critical for students to develop problem-solving skills. Nice one. And what again? However, several challenges in the effective chemistry education in Nigeria. We have one here, abstract nature of chemistry concept. This is a problem. Inadequate laboratory facilities, another problem. Teacher-centered instructional methods, another problem. Limited access to interactive learning materials, another problem. Safety concerns and chemical shortages, another problem. The large class sizes, another problem. Now, these are the problems. How will virtual lab come to solve this problem or to address these problems? Look at it here. Key problems virtual labs could address. Virtual lab solutions can significantly improve conceptual understanding chemistry by addressing these problems. One, visualization of abstract concept. Remember, the fourth challenge here is abstract nature of chemistry. Okay, what if we can visualize this? Then it is no longer abstract. And virtual lab can help you to visualize it. Look, virtual labs use simulations and 3D models to illustrate microscopic and subatomic phenomena, making concepts like atomic structures and reaction kinetics more comprehensible. This is how you can just make a case for your research where you are saying virtual lab can address the problem of what? Abstract nature of chemistry concept. You identify the gaps and then you brainstorm on how your research is going to fill the gap. Statement of the problem. We can also have alternative to physical labs where virtual lab can serve as that. Inquiry, remember we said it is teacher-centered. So inquiry is student-centered. So safe experimental environment, self-paced adaptive learning, and whatever. So we have this on how we can incorporate virtual labs in order to solve the challenges of teaching chemistry. All right. So this is part of our statement of the problem. So structuring a research justification with AI assistant, apart from the fact that you have identified the gaps in the literature and you have reframed the solutions that your proposed project topic is coming to address, then you need to justify your research. And that is the main statement of the problem, which you are going to write in 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs to let people know why are you venturing into this research? What is the main problem you are trying to address? And at the same time, what is the significance of your research? So you have to justify that. This is what we call statement of the problem in our department. All right. So AI can help you to do that. But when you're justifying your research, there are 3 things you must take note of. You need to explain why the problem is important. You need to demonstrate the knowledge gaps, and then you need to support the need for your study. Why should we care? So look at this scenario. Still on virtual lab. This researcher needs to write now statement of the problem. Unfortunately for him, I've just crafted a prompt. Look, using 300 words, help me structure a research justification for a study on the impact of virtual lab on conceptual understanding in secondary school chemistry. Remember that a research justification. Now I'm trying to remind the AI what exactly I want, not just anything. Remember that a research justification should explain why the problem is important, demonstrate a knowledge gap, and support the need for the study. Perfect. So we can copy this and then we run it. All right. If you run it on this particular page, it will link to the problems it has identified here. And I think that's a good thing. So let us run it on this particular page. And it will link it to Nigeria because we already said Nigeria in the former prompts. But in this prompt now, I think there is no mention of Nigeria. So take note of that. You need to make it context specific to get something nice. Now look, using 300 words, this part of the prompt is a restriction. It is not context. It is what? A restriction. Perfect. Help me structure a research justification for a study on wherever it stops here. This is the task. This is what is the task. This is how to analyze a prompt. In your test or exam, when I ask you to analyze a prompt, this is what I'm asking you to do. You identify each part of the prompt. Unfortunately, in this course, we have covered 10 different models. You should be able to identify each part of the model when you are asked. Good. So this is a task. Then remember that a research justification should explain this is the context. This is what? The context with which I want this guy to stay, the scope of the statement of the problem. So take note of this. So let us run this interesting prompt and let's see what the output is going to be. I've requested for 300 words, so I don't expect something too long for me to deal with. Okay. All right, we are going to evaluate this. Let this guy finishes. Now we have it. Very first thing is we say that the research justification should talk about the what? The importance, right? We say it here. Remember, the gap should what? Explain why the problem is what? Important. That should be the first paragraph under normal circumstance. Let's see that. Conceptual understanding in chemistry is essential for students to develop problem-solving skills. Why is that important? And apply scientific principles effectively. However, many Nigerian students struggle with abstract topics such as atomic structure, chemical bonding, and reaction mechanisms due to traditional rote learning methods. The gap, the challenges, and inadequate laboratory facilities. The lack of hands-on experimentation limits student ability to visualize, remember that problem, visualization, and internalize key concepts, leading to misconceptions and poor performance. This challenge affects not only student learning outcomes, but also teachers' ability to implement what? Inquiry-based learning. So, which are essential for fostering critical thinking. This is it. The gap is open. Okay? Despite the increasing global adoption of digital learning tools, chemistry instruction in many Nigerian secondary schools remains largely teacher-centered, still on the problem, with minimal integration of technology-enhanced resources. Existing research on virtual labs highlights their potential to improve student engagement. You see this now, conceptual understanding and experimental skills. In your writing, you must put a reference. Okay, we are going to talk about how to put a reference in this kind of thing in this lesson. Maybe not today, Sha. However, studies focusing on their impact in Nigerian secondary school chemistry remain what? Limited. You are saying there's limited studies. Amazing. So most available studies emphasize technology accessibility rather than its direct effect on student cognitive development and conceptual what? Mastery in sciences. So this study is necessary. Okay, why should we care about your study? All right, excellent. So I'm just informed that the prof is here, but let me just explain this prompt, then I'm going to stop, then I'm going to give a chance to our HOD to speak. So the last paragraph, it talks about the studies necessary to bridge this gap by providing empirical evidence on the effectiveness of virtual labs in enhancing conceptual understanding. Its findings could inform policymakers. Significance, right? Its findings could inform policymakers on the integration of digital learning solutions in Nigerian science curriculum, helping students to address the long-standing issues of the problem, and so on and so forth. This is a typical research statement of the problem. You highlight the problem, the challenges, and the contribution of your work in addressing that particular problem, and even the implication. So you have this now. So the second part, the second most important part of your chapter 1 is the statement of the problem, and you have just seen the way you can use AI to address this. So before we move to the next part about formulating research objectives and the research questions, I'm going to pause. I'm going to stop talking. Then I'm going to give a chance to our father in the meeting now to have one or two things to say to us before we now proceed. So we need this using AI in our research. We have just covered so far how we can use AI to formulate our project topics. After the project topics, we also talk about using AI to write the statement of the problem. So the next thing we talk about is, which is another important aspect in chapter 1, is about formulating your research objectives and your research questions. So you need to use AI. You can use AI to enhance your ability in formulating the research objectives. Before we go into that, let me give you a brief of what the research objectives are. All right? There is less argument on the fact that a well-structured research study begins with clear, precise, and measurable research objectives and questions that you want to address in your research. So this guides the study's direction, define its scope, and ensure that it systematically addresses the problem at hand. That problem, you have identified that in the statement of the problem. Remember that. However, many researchers struggle with framing objectives that are specific achievable, and aligned with educational research standard. This one is a plain truth. Even up to masters and PhD students, they still struggle with this. They come with objectives that we still have to reformulate, reframe, so that it will suit what the standard we have set. But AI tools can now significantly enhance the formulation of your research topics and the questions by helping researchers define the precise and measurable objectives, structuring research questions based on best practices, ensuring alignment with objectives and methodology, and validating the feasibility and clarity of your research questions. So let's see this. I want to develop a research topic and research objectives from the scratch. So what am I going to do? I should be able to have it at the back. It must be clear on my mind that the research objectives must satisfy some conditions. Some people say your objective must be smart. Your research objectives must be what? Just how you have an educational goal to be smart, your research objective must also be smart. When we say smart, the S there we mean must be specific. Your research objective must be specific, clearly define the aspect of science education being studied. It must be measurable. That is, can be assessed using either quantitative or qualitative methods. It must be achievable. Your project is just one semester on some few months. Within the time that you want to write your project, will you be able to achieve what you set out to achieve? Then it must be what? Relevant. So it must address real problem in science education, not just something you make up. And what is your problem that you are solving in this thesis? Nothing. Then it must be time bound. Your timeline must be what? Highly taken into consideration. So having look at that, then we have a scenario here where you can use AI to develop your research topics. Look at this student, a struggling undergraduate student. Is exploring AI-powered formative assessment in secondary school physics, but doesn't know how to frame the research objectives. AI can help you to do that using this simple prompt. Look at this simple prompt, very simple one. I am conducting research on AI-driven formative assessment in secondary school physics. Help me develop 3 to 5 precise and what? Measurable research objectives. You provide the context and then you introduce the tags. Okay, so let us copy this and then generate what we have from the AI. I want to use a fresh new chat now. We have it here. I am conducting. You remember, this is a basic prompt. You can modify it. You can put restriction. You can put tone. You can put number of words. You can put so many things. You can even put personnel. You can ask the AI to act like a professor, or act like a senior lecturer, or act like a postgraduate student, and so on, to formulate this thing for you. So I'm conducting a research on AI-driven formative assessment in secondary school physics. You can tell who you are. I'm an undergraduate student, and so on and so forth. You can put the context. Help me develop 3 to 5 precise, measurable, and precise and measurable research objectives. Mind you, from here to here, the first sentence you have here is the context. You are providing AI the context. All right? So the context. Then again, you have the task here. This is the task. Help me develop 3. This is the task you want AI to perform for you. What you have before the task is your context. At times, you can have personnel there. You can have tone. Within this task, we have embedded restriction that not just any number of objectives. We need 3 to 5, maximum 5. So we ask this, and then we introduce this to AI, and then we see what is going to formulate. So you have 5 topics, 5 research objectives being formulated. Number 1, to evaluate the effectiveness of AI-driven formative assessment in improving student conceptual understanding of key chemistry topics. To analyze the impact of AI-generated feedback on student problem-solving skills and misconceptions in physics. It goes on up to 5. You, as an undergraduate student, you only need 2. You only need how many? 2 research objectives, maximum 2. 1 or 2, you are fine. Out of these 5, you just select the best 2, and then you are happy. You have your research objectives. Remember, you are not to rely 100% on what is generated here. You have to use your brain to sieve out what is relevant from what is not relevant. That's why when you need 2, you can ask for 5 so that you can select the best 2 out of 5. This is the scope. Perfect. This is one way. And at the same time, you can also use the approach we use for formulating research topic. You can have some set of research objectives, then ask AI to study them and then formulate a new one out of them, or 2 new ones or 3 new ones. So you can also structure and validate your research question. After you've done your objective, you need to get your research question. And there are some things you must also note when you are formulating your research question. Your research question must be clear, easily understood, and free from ambiguity. It must be focused. That is, target a specific aspect of the research topic. It must be researchable. Of course, if it is not researchable, it can be a research question. Just an ordinary question. So it can be investigated using existing methodologies. It must align with objectives. This is fundamental in research. When you set out 3 objectives, you must set out 3 corresponding research questions. Your research questions must align with your research objectives. Correspondence, one-to-one. You remember that? One-to-one correspondence. The first research objective must go with the first research question. The second research objective must go with the second research question. The third research objective must go with the third research question. This alignment must study AI-powered formative assessment in secondary school physics, the same guy, but is unsure how to structure their research questions effectively. All right? Okay? Perfect. So we have a sample prompt here that we can use to address this issue. I am researching AI-powered formative assessment in secondary school physics. Generate 3 research questions that align with the following research objective insert the previous. I'm just giving you instruction here that you need to say, okay, let's have this. I copy this from here. Then I go to my ChatGPT here. Then I put it here. But remember, I want my research question to align. Look here. I say generate 3 structured research questions that align with the following research objectives. Okay? So you need to put your research objectives here. So we can take any 3 from the one we have generated before. All right? Let me take maybe at random these 3, and I copy it like this. So then I put them here. Okay? I can put a column to separate this one, and I can do this, right? So these are the objectives that I have formulated, and my supervisors have agreed with that. So I want to generate corresponding research questions to these objectives. So I'm prompting AI by saying I'm researching AI-powered formative assessment in secondary school physics. Generate 3 structured research questions that align with the following research objectives. So I can just send this. Then we'll see what's going on. I have 3. Look at the first one. How does AI-generated feedback influence student problem-solving skills and address misconceptions in secondary school physics? Look at the first objective. You're analyzing the impact of that AI on problem-solving skills and misconception. So it goes with the first one. The second one, what are the levels of engagement and motivation among secondary school students when using AI-driven formative assessment? If you look at the second objective, to examine secondary school student engagement, it goes in line. The third one, what are teachers' perceptions of AI-driven formative assessment? Look, the third objective is about teacher perceptions and readiness to integrate AI. So what we are saying here is you have your objectives clearly spelled out. You can ask AI to do what? To generate corresponding research questions. At this point, this is the starting point. You have got something to keep you or to kickstart you, just to act as your catalyst. Excellent. So you have got something to catalyze you. So with that, you can now what? Reframe this to suit your departmental standard. So what we are saying here is that AI can assist us in doing so. Again, what you can do when you're validating your research question is, once your research questions are formulated, AI can help you to validate their clarity, relevance, and feasibility. So you have some tools that can help you to do that, and then you are happy. So this is a sample scenario where we have a graduate student. This guy, he has got his own research questions, but he's unsure whether these research questions are relevant or whether they are clear or whether they are feasible in conducting the research. So you can ask AI to reframe it for you. Maybe your supervisor say, all these research questions, they are not that good. Okay? You need to go back and reframe them. So just come to AI to help you to reframe them. Your supervisor may say, this is not clear. This one is not relevant. How will you measure this? Fine. I've taken the correction, sir. Oh, man. Just pack the feedback, take it to AI, then ask AI to reformulate the topics, the research questions for you to suit the feedback you have got from your supervisor. This is another thing to save your time. All right, so we have a simple prompt here. It says, evaluate the following research questions for clarity, feasibility, and alignment with measurable research objectives, and then generate refined research questions. These are what the student produced, gave to the supervisor. But the supervisor said they are not clear. These topics, these questions, they are not feasible. Or these questions, they are not measurable. They are not researchable. You can get this comment. So now you want to use AI as the research assistant to help you to reformulate these research questions. All right? So this is the prompt. You can copy this prompt, and then we ask AI to do this job for us and see what we are going to gain. I like to open a fresh chart now. So I have a new chart here. These quotation mark, they are not needed. You can remove them. And the last one here. All right. So let us read through this to be sure that we are providing the right thing. Evaluate the following research questions for clarity, feasibility, and alignment with measurable research objectives, and then generate refined research topics. So we are given AI 2 tasks. The first task is to evaluate these research questions using our own criteria. We need clarity, we need feasibility, and we need alignment with measurable objectives. Then, after analyzing that, we are asking it to do what? To generate fresh ones based on these ones that we have given. So what we have given here, apart from the tags, is the context. We are given a context to help the AI to generate what we need. So we just run this now and see what we get. Perfect. You can see the analysis. Excellent. And you can see the refined question. Wow, this is amazing. I'm not sure if you see it that way, but let us go through what this guy has done. It says, evaluation of research question. This is our first research question. On the issue of clarity, he said, the question is clear, but could benefit from specifying how student performance will be measured. Test score, whatever. The second criterion, feasibility. Yeah, it is feasible with appropriate experimental or quasi-experimental research method. Giving you about the feasibility. Alignment with measurable objective. The term impact could be operationalized. Okay, should be operationalized. Will the study measure academic achievement, engagement, or retention? Now we have a new research formulation. What is the effect of AI-driven personalized learning on student academic achievement in chemistry, secondary school chemistry, as measured by what? The standardized test scores. So you can see this refinement. We have a how does, and I must tell you the fact, the question of how is actually a question of exploration, is a question of interview, is a question of observation. It's not a question of test or questionnaire. So when you say how, you are going to speak to people to tell them how something is done. But you are just interested in using a test or a questionnaire. So how is not a good way to raise a question? And you have got a refinement here. What is the effect of AI-driven personalized learning on student academic achievement? And so on and so forth. What about the second one? What challenges do teachers face in implementing AI-based adaptive learning systems? We have the clarity. The question is clear, but to specify the context. Feasibility is feasible with qualitative or mixed method. Okay? Alignment with measurable objectives, the challenges need to be categorized, technical, pedagogical, or institutional. Amazing. Then we have a new one. What are the key pedagogical, technical, and institutional challenges that teachers face in implementing AI-based adaptive learning systems in secondary school? Amazing. You can see this. Very precise, very sharp. All right? How do AI-powered personalized learning platforms influence student motivation in science education? Clarity. The question is generally clear, but you specify the dimensions of motivation, intrinsic or extrinsic motivation. Amazing. Feasibility. Yeah, feasible with self-reported survey, observational studies, or interviews, but not with experimental study. Alignment with measurable objectives. Yes, the influence should be operationalized. Will it be measured using standardized motivation scale or qualitative insight? Then we have a refinement. What is the impact or effect, of AI-powered learning platforms on student intrinsic and extrinsic motivation in secondary school science education? Then you have this refinement. This is a starting point. You will now collect this refinement on your own. Sit down and then do your own refinement. You don't leave this work for this guy to do it for you. You do your own. You bring your own creativity. You bring your own innovation. You bring your own identity into these questions. So then you have it. So you can see, so far so good in your chapter 1. You need your topics, your research topics. We've just covered that, how AI can assist you and improve your productivity in doing that. You also need what? The statement of the problem. There are so many other things in chapter 1. I'm not considering them for now. We'll still look at them later on. So the first one about the topic, the second one about the statement of the problem, the third one about the what? The research objectives and the research questions. The hypothesis we follow directly. But we're not talking about formulation of hypothesis now, because that is the easiest thing, as soon as you get your objectives and your questions correctly. All right? So we have this. And at the same time, it is not all studies that require these statistical hypotheses. If your study is qualitative, you don't need statistical hypothesis, but you need the research questions and the objectives. Very good. So this is the whole of your chapter 1. Just like this, you have them as a single bunch. Then the next thing you talk about is you move to chapter 2. I'll be very concise here. In chapter 2, we only focus on literature search and review. All right? So we cover this and then we're happy. So by next class, we take to chapter 3, methodology, and then chapter 4, possibly, in our next class, where you talk about how to use the AI to analyze the quantitative data or to analyze the qualitative data. That will be part 2 of this lesson. All right? But for now, let's deal with literature search. I put something here. Conducting a comprehensive literature review is a critical or crucial step in science education research, as it helps scholars identify existing studies, theoretical frameworks, and research gaps. However, traditional literature searches can be time-consuming and overwhelming, especially given the vast number of publications we have in multiple databases. AI-powered scholarly search engines have revolutionized this process by enabling researchers, you and me, to quickly locate relevant studies from vast academic databases, identify key themes, methodologies, and research trends, summarize and synthesize literature efficiently, automatically generate citations and bibliographies. Yes, AI can help you to generate citations and even put it in the format that you want. APA 6th edition, APA 7th edition, wherever, this guy will do it for you. Now we start with the first one, where you can utilize AI for search as a search engine. The traditional method using like Google Scholar, PubMed are useful, or ordinary Google, but often return excessive, too many unfiltered results that require manual screening. AI-enhanced research tools can refine searches, rank results based on relevant and extract summaries for you. So we have a kind of recommended set of AI tools that you can call like this and they will help you. You have the Elicit, you have the Semantic Scholar, you have the Site AI, you have the Research Rabbit, and you have the connected papers. We are going to take some of them this morning. Let's have a simple scenario here where we have a student, a researcher, is investigating relationships, can you see, between admission requirement and academic performance of first-year undergraduate chemistry student, but needs a curated list of the most relevant papers in this. How will he get it? He has gone through the Scholar, but things are just too much for him in Google Scholar. Okay, let's try this prompt. Look at this prompt. Search for the most recent and highly cited papers on relationships between admission requirement and academic performance of first-year undergraduate students. Summarize their key findings and identify any research gaps. I'm using this prompt now. I'm not using ChatGPT this time around because ChatGPT is good, but maybe not for this purpose. So we'll be using Perplexity. Perplexity is purposely designed for research. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So Perplexity, where is my Perplexity? I think I have one here. Okay, and this is my Perplexity. So this is how Perplexity look like. You can see the link, perplexity.ai. Some of you in your project, you are writing on Perplexity. I think a group is writing on Perplexity. So this is what Perplexity looks like. So I just copied that prompt, then I put it here. All right. Search for the most recent and highly cited papers on relationship wherever, and then summarize their key findings and find. Then I just send this. Let's see what Perplexity will bring to us. Okay. The work is going. The guy is doing it for us, and it's giving us what we need. Let's say it is still going. So this is super amazing. Like, you get authentic papers with Perplexity. Has it finished? I think yes, it has. Let's now review what this guy has for us. The relationship between admission requirement and academic performance in chemistry programs has been studied primarily in pharmacy education context. You can see with recent research highlighting key predictors and challenging assumptions about institutional rigor. Here is the synthesis of findings from recent studies. Mind you, we didn't put restriction here. We only say relationship between admission requirement among chemistry students. If you want, you can say only within science education. This guy has just opened everything and said these studies, this particular relationship, it has been investigated in what? In pharmacy a lot. And these are what people have got. Key findings. Organic chemistry performance matters. We are looking for a relationship between what? Admission requirement and academic what? Performance. Undergraduate organic chemistry 1 grade strongly predicts academic success in health professional programs. Student earning C grades in organic chemistry, okay, 1 add what? Significant lower GP in pharmacy school compared to those with what? This is study. These are 2 studies that have come to this conclusion. I'm still coming to how you can get them. Another one is here, institutional type, traditional metrics versus holistic admission, science, math, GPA, like now UTME, JAM, whatever, what they predict, they will tell you. Research gaps that people have not filled. Undergraduate chemistry focus, non-cognitive factors, standardized test transition, longitudinal C versus university tracking. So this is what you have. You can just take your time and review this on your own. Then we look at the sources. The studies that this guy has cited, you can see them. You have authentic studies. Okay, this one is published in Frontiers in Psychology. You can click on this now, and then to take you to where you can get the paper. This is authentic. Unlike fake papers that you can get in ChatGPT. This one will come with something amazing. So look at the second one, performance in organic chemistry at 4, wherever. So you click on that to take you to where it is, and then you'll be happy to get what you need. This another one, I think this one is even, and let's see that one. In fact, the second one, when I click it, it just downloaded it for me, free of charge, just like that. So you have this, another study. I think this one, yeah, that one just downloaded and then it's opening it. So this one, it looks like a master thesis or something, wherever. So you can see what you need here, and then you are happy. So this is how to use AI, in particular, how to use Perplexity to do what? To get what we need as part of literature search is concerned. And at the same time, this study that this guy have cited, we can also ask it for related ones. Look, you can see view more. These are the 3 citations this guy has included in the search. If you want to view more, you can view more relevant studies to this one. They need to give you more relevant studies, more than you need. And then you only extract what you need, and then you are happy with what you are doing. All right, so I can close this one. Then I have my thing here. All right, so this is one way to do what? To get our literature search beyond using Google Scholar or using ordinary Google or using PubMed and so on. What we also need to do in literature review is to identify research trends and what people are doing. So beyond searching for specific papers, AI can also help you to detect emerging trends in science education research. AI-driven tools, all right, like semantic scholar and connected papers can allow researchers to visualize how topics evolve over time and how studies are interlinked. Okay, look at this one. A master student this time around, I'm moving to a master student, want to understand how AI has been integrated into STEM education over the past decade. So a simple prompt, but this time around we are using another amazing AI tool, which we call connected papers. This one will bring the whole of the world to your face like this and even show the relationship between them. So just simple prompt, evolution of AI applications in STEM education. Okay, remember this one is a research assistant AI platform. It's not ordinary text generation like that of ChatGPT. I need to open my connected papers. I think I have it here. Amazing. All right. So this is how it looks like, connected papers. Are we fine? This is how connected papers look like. How you can see is search by keywords, by paper title, DOI, or another identifier. If you're looking for any paper, you can come here to search for it too. But me, I'm looking for evolution of what? AI application system education. I just asked you to build that graph for me. This may take a while, I guess, but let's see how it goes. Okay, nice one. It's asking me to be more focused. What do I want? Choose a paper to build a graph. Okay, this one is on what? Impact of peer assessment using deep learning. Maybe this is not so good for me. Okay, impact of ChatGPT on student learning. Yeah, I like this one. I just click on this. Then it's going to build that graph. See that graph? Maybe some of you are aware of what a graph is, not your X and Y graph. This one is a graph that they do in combinatorics or in abstract algebra. This is a graph. Anyways, these are what they call nodes, or you call them vertices. And the lines here, they are the edges. Okay, the lines here. So look at what this guy is doing now. These nodes you see here, they are different studies, and the lines that is drawn from one node to another is telling you the relationship between this paper and this paper. Okay, then you have the papers, all of them listed here for you. See how you do your research. So amazing. So all the papers are listed. This is the one I use as my root or my source. Then I have other papers here. ChatGPT for teaching and learning and experience from data wherever. I can click on the paper is here. And if you want to download, just click on PDF, then it will take me to where the paper is. I can download the paper and read. As easy as that. Connected papers. You can see, this is a study. You can pick anyone, ChatGPT challenges and benefits in software programming for hire, wherever. You have it here. Just click on it to come here for you. And then you click on here, then you are fine. You move down from here, from the side here. Does ChatGPT help with introductory programming and experiment? This is another study. You can click on this PDF to get the paper. Okay, augmented experience. The potential, I like this one. The potential of ChatGPT technology in education, advantages, obstacles, and future growth. You can click on PDF to go and look for that particular paper, and then you find it wherever it is in PDF. It is downloading it here. You can see it has downloaded it, and it is opening here for me. All right, so you have the paper. You see this now. So take note of this. This is what we are saying here, that here, not only getting the papers, it will even tell you how the papers are connected. And that's the name, connected papers. So this is what you can do in your literature search and be happy with yourself while doing it. Okay, perfect. So you can go back to our prompts. I want to round up in 3 or 4 minutes now. So you can also do something else. This one will search for the paper. Perplexity can even analyze the papers for you. You can see what Perplexity can do. Analyze the evolution of AI application in STEM education over the last 10 years. Identify key research trends and shifts in methodologies. Perplexity can do this, but connected papers cannot. If you copy this prompt now and put it in Perplexity, you'll be happy to see the result. Last thing you can do with AI here, at least for now, is that AI-assisted literature summarization and citation management. So we can also use AI like Elicit. I will leave you with this Elicit. Elicit, Elicit is so crazy that it will not only give you what we need, it will even write a paper for you. Elicit will write a mini review for you. Look at this prompt. How do AI-based formative assessments? This one is a typical topic. How do AI-based formative assessment impact student learning outcomes and conceptual understanding in physics compared to traditional assessment methods? Maybe you have read about review articles, review, systematic review, or scope review, or mini review, or whatever review article. Elicit has come to take over that job from you. It will help you not only getting the papers, but also review the paper and give you a manuscript of that review. So if you copy this prompt now, let us see Elicit. I think I have Elicit here too. Whoop, where's my Elicit? Let me see. Yeah, I have Elicit here. So this is my Elicit. You can see that particular question, I've asked it before, and then Elicit generated the response. I think this is where it is, because Elicit will take a while. Elicit can take like 10 to 15 minutes. But when I asked this question before coming to this class, this is what Elicit generated. Let's see whether that will open. It's a very huge document, so it will take a while as well to open. Yes, we have it. So look at what Elicit has done. You can follow the step from here. The very first step Elicit did was to get papers. When I asked that question, Elicit got 50 papers. 50 papers. After getting the 50 papers, then screen the papers. You can see some screening criteria: education level, context, whatever, design of the study. After doing that, then it extracted the data from the paper. Then after that, it generates the report, which is my mini review. Look at a review. A review article. You see this now. A review article based on the topic of the impact of AI assessment in physics learning outcomes. You can see studies show that AI-based formative assessment in physics education yields superior learning outcomes compared to traditional. This is the key takeaway. Here you have the abstract of the paper. See the abstract. 6 studies compare wherever, abstract. Methodology, we can expand it. This is the methodology. It even give you a graph where you have the paper search, the screening, the educational level, the subject matter, and so on. This methodology of the what? Review article. Data extraction, how things have gone, wherever, you have them here. Still on methodology. Then you have the results. This is the results from Elicit. You can see this is a paper which you can download in PDF and then modify it, then you write a review article. So easy these days. Using what? Using Elicit. You see this one now? This is the result. Then after the result, what do we have? The conclusion, I guess. Then you have the references here, and so on. The references. And these are authentic, not fake like you have in ChatGPT. This one will give you what you need perfect way. So take note of this. If you are going for a conference, you can take this for a conference, a national conference, and then you are happy with it. Without having to bother yourself more, just save this, download in PDF, and then you can edit it and then use your own professional touch to make it better. Then you are happy. So with this, I think we have a holistic view of how to use AI-based tools, different of them this time around, from the formulation of our research topics, right? Through formulation of what? Statement of the problems, through research objectives and research questions. Thereabout, we talk about how to use it for literature search and how to use it to identify gaps in the literature and how to use it to even generate a mini review article. So using what? Using Elicit. I think it's a convenient place for us to stop this morning. It has been very engaging. So I want to